So here we have this guy, a token lover 28. He has 67 watchers, 38 deviations, and 5.4k profile views, which means barely anybody views this guy's profile. I saw him in another person's comment section for someone that I was doing art for, or when I was just looking on DeviantArt, and I saw some people were talking about this one guy, and this is him. This is him in this one guy's comment section, and all this guy does is just kind of crap post, I guess, lesbian furries, and what he says is pretty interesting. Let me read it out for you. Conclusion: by your art, you are a Christian phobe with a very gross sense of humor. Best cure for you is to throw you into the Middle East and see how quickly you realize the great USA is by not having any rights whatsoever to disagree with the regime that is Islam in the Middle East. You won't be bitching about dying for Israel in the Middle East. You'll be begging for Israel to save you. I don't consider you a federal U.S. citizen. You're a stain on the USA. You need help. Okay, so this guy is very interesting. He has people here who are completely confused. Apparently, well, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't found the post yet, but I'm assuming that in one of these posts that this guy has, there were comments on it from Token Lover about something, I guess, I don't know. And they were just arguing back and forth. And again, I'm not entirely sure why this guy is the way that he is, but you can see his profile picture is Frodo speaking, or I don't know if that's Frodo necessarily that's speaking, but it could be Gandalf. A disturber of the peace is barely within shot. So he really loves his Bible, you can tell. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with loving God or being a Christian. But when you force it onto other people who are just trying to live their lives, especially on a site that says progressive as DeviantArt, you're definitely going to come across some people who are just not going to vibe with you, you know? There are but two parties at this point, patriots and traitors, pro-America, pro-Christ, and pro-Israel. Enemy of Marxists, libtards, communists, Satan, and anybody who serves the world. If you hate... by the way, anybody who serves the world is basically just another way of saying, you know, anybody who doesn't serve the Lord, because that's a big thing that's like in the Bible. When there are those who don't serve the Lord tells him, or the Lord pretty much comes it down to those who serve anything but me. So that's where he's coming from. If you hate me because I love God, awesome. I did my job to be on that snake's hit list. If you hate me because I love my country, go eat sandpaper. Now he's referring to Paul's teachings in the to the Corinthians, to the Ephesians, and to the other churches during his time, where he was telling them that if they were being persecuted for their belief in Christ, then that would mean that they are serving Christ, or that they were, because at that time Christ had passed away, and we were in the after death times, you know, the final days, and you know, that's how we are today. But obviously we are not in those times, I would say. So there's no reason for anybody to be hating on each other just because someone views something differently. If you love what I love, welcome. I'm sorry. I don't have friendship with people who don't value what I value. Okay, there's a very distinct difference between those who you are friends with because of your collaborative belief in something, and people who are just friends, you know? Like, people who are your friends for like you and like who you are as a person are really good friends. But if people are only your friends because you also believe in something that they believe, that could be relatively skin deep. That would be like a connection between a bartender and a regular. So And even they get along way more than people who are just into politics or into religion as much as these people are. And there is brotherhood. There is brotherhood in religion and in Christianity. There definitely is. But when you push it onto people and you like cut it off at a certain point, you make it completely black and white so that there's no leeway for others to come into your life, you cut yourself off from the rest of the world. And it's very close-minded. And I know that that word can be used as like, oh, well, they're just being woke, they're being progressive. No, you're cutting off everybody. Like, there's a lot more non-believers than you think. And there are a lot more believers. There's billions of believers in the world that would not agree with you on this. And if you come to argue or attack me, you will be blocked and aborted from my presence. His presence is so immaculate, so so blameless, honestly, that he would not have you in his presence at all ever. I also follow the advice of Paul in 2 Timothy about useless arguments. I will not debate people who serve the devil because the devil doesn't want to debate. What does he mean by that? I don't understand. I don't really get that at all. People who serve the devil because the devil doesn't want to debate. So I guess what he's trying to say there is that everybody who's not like him is the devil, or is like trying to serve the devil and is not trying to serve God. Everybody who's not like-minded, I would say. And this is dumb. The devil doesn't want to debate. I don't really understand. You get people all the time in here who want to debate, especially on topics like religion or like literally anything. Because this guy was making the argument that the other guy was a Christian phobe. I don't know about that other guy. I don't care either. But at the end of the day, you're just making yourself a victim for these people to, or you're making yourself out to be a victim when in reality that's not the case at all. You're just attacking people, and then woe is me when you're getting all this backlash from people who don't want to hear it. My great commission is to share the love I have for the Lord and the country God gave me. I'm not a sower, I'm a warrior. Wow. What has he done? I don't know. He's made these AI generated images, which is cool, and this propaganda, so that's about the extent of it, I suppose, which is, extremely useful for the US military. 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verses 13 through 15. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is of God, which things we also speak, not in the words of man's wisdom, but which the Holy Ghost teaches, comparing spiritual things to spiritual. But the natural man receives not the things of God, for they are foolishness to him, neither can he know them. For he that is spiritual judges all things. Okay, so I think he's comparing himself to the natural man. The natural man receives not the things of God, for they are foolishness to him, neither can he know them, but he that is spiritual judges all things. So I think he's making the comparison that he's above our primitive understanding as natural man, ooga booga, we're not up to that standard yet, or we're spiritual and judging all things, being a warrior amongst our race in the US of A. I love Middle Earth. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Lord of the Rings there because of his profile picture, but I just have to, I'm pretty sure that's just what it is. And then he has some guy here who says, please share this with as many saved followers of Yeshua as possible. It's super urgent with the times we're in. You can even repost this image in its article on your page to spread awareness. I will definitely put that up in the church to pray for too. So I don't even know how old this guy is. This person, this lady is. But obviously this person is very into their religion and very much about, I guess, their conservative beliefs and what they value in life way more than other people. And that's a problem. That's a problem. When you value your whole life above, or your religion above everyone else in your entire life, that becomes that becomes kind of awful, you know? Nobody wants to be around a person who is just like, God told me and God raised the dead, you know? When you're just trying to have a natural conversation, just like chill, you know? This person is just like the epitome of not chill. I would say, and that's a broad term, I guess. But at the end of the day, this person is just not a pleasant person to be around. They don't spend enough time with enough people. They probably live on a farm, and they have a few images that or deviations, I suppose. Which I don't know why they chose DeviantArt to post on. That's I'm gonna be honest. I don't really understand this at all. You're asking for trouble. When you go onto somewhere like DeviantArt and you just post, where you comment on other people's posts, and you're just like openly being, you know, provocative or debateful to an extent, because nobody likes those types of people. There are plenty of Christians out there who have a lot of friends who are of the world, right? And they don't really square themselves off or think that they're better than everyone else. They know they have a limit. They know they don't hang around with certain types of people, but that doesn't stop them from being friendly with people like furries, you know? Everybody should have like some sort of you know, limit that they're used to when conversing with people. But at the end of the day, this person is just being hateful. Their great contribution to the US of A is to generate AI images and post them on Easter. Wow, this is very amazing. So they're saying that Kamala Harris, I mean, if I'm being honest, if a person like Trump was to be set before the Lord, do you really think that God would say, oh yes, that guy, he's the greatest, absolutely. We all know, no doubt about it. You know, Jesus, I love Jesus. I've had him in my church. I've built the churches. I've cultivated a connection with God. If it wasn't for Jesus Christ, then, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today. It's just, I don't understand really where this is coming from. But it's just, I guess it's, again, mostly from conservative views. You have enemies, good. It means you stood up for something in your life. Obviously, you're going to have enemies anywhere you turn, but being a Christian doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to have enemies everywhere you go. It's stupid to think that you're gonna have more enemies just because you're Christian. I can't imagine how hard it is for people in the LGBTQ space to face what they do face, and especially people who are transgender, because they have to face a world that's honestly not ready for them just yet, and they face more hate now than ever by people like this person, which is. And I'm not talking about Winston Churchill. I'm talking about this person, token lover. They're the ones spreading the hate, feigning superiority, and crying wolf. And they're also playing the victim at the same time. So they're doing a whole lot of things, jumping through a whole lot of hoops, and for what? For a few likes on DeviantArt? To spread the word of God? Nobody's gonna listen to you if you just keep moaning and crying all the time about, oh, woe is me because the world is against me. Now I have enemies. Well, that's a good thing. I have enemies. Wow. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, and nobody is your enemy. Nobody is your enemy unless you make them your enemy. And people are just gonna be terrible anyways. Like I've had a few people who hate me just because of the way I dress in a video game. My enemies are many, my equals are none. I also like the sentence from Napoleon Total War Game. It's a pretty badass quote, however I acknowledge I have many equals. And of course there are those who are smarter than me. That pride surely led to Napoleon's downfall, no doubt. Pride makes you weak. So this lady admits that there are those who are smarter than her, but she doesn't give credence to those people really at all. They just say this for, I don't know, nothing, for no reason. Pride makes you weak. All I see here is pride. All I see here is I'm the best because I serve God, and I have enemies because I serve God. No, you have enemies because you're a terrible person. I guarantee you there will be people who are out there who won't like you because you're Christian, but there will be more people that won't like you because of who you are as a person. Beverly Hills on fire. Wow, best news I've ever heard all day was learning that Beverly Hills is on fire. And this person is supposed to be, you know, a Christian, loving, kind-hearted. The homes of many wicked people are being burned up today. Is it judgment? Is it the consequence of building in a desert state? All these $1 million homes in a state that doesn't have a lot of water. Who knows? All I know is Beverly Hills is a wicked city, and a lot of those people don't like America, so oh well. Wow. So this person has surface level, like a droplet of knowledge on the people, or like Beverly Hills as a whole, which is stupid, honestly. And I don't know a lot about it anyways, but a lot of people lost their homes. That's what I know. A lot of people did lose things that they've built up for decades even. So the fact that it all goes up like this, and it's just it's devastating for a lot of people, you know. No one was excited about this. No Christian should be happy about this, and here this person is celebrating that Beverly Hills is on fire. Like, what is wrong with you? You have to like have some sort of self-awareness, right? Where this is just not like the most not okay thing to do, not okay thing to post. And it got 3 favorites too. I don't know who favorited that. Okay, so this person apparently is also a part of this space. They're probably relatively in the same mindset as Token here, which is a kind of like a hive mind. They're feeding off each other. They're circle jerking one another for the sake of God. I can't even tell who it is for at this point. Like, what are they doing this for? California on fire, and I'm not sorry. Yeah, this is definitely what a modern day believer looks like. I'm just kidding. No, it's definitely not how a modern day believer looks like. It shouldn't be that way ever. It shouldn't come to this where people are constantly like, there's a constant back and forth, because it's people like this that give Christian and good Christian people a bad name, especially in these spaces. There's nothing wrong with being on DeviantArt. I don't care if you are, but I'm gonna make fun of you because I think you're a dummy, a big dum-dum. All this just looks awful. You create AI slop, and you say you're worshiping God while spreading hate. So I don't really understand, like, why is this person? And this, you could tell they started posting a lot around the time that around the time that the elections were coming out, but they don't produce anything. They're probably alone. They probably just don't have any friends, which I would have to say is like a personal issue. If you have that struggle, if you have that struggle where your beliefs trump everything that you are, or they trump everything that everything that everybody else values, or like everybody else has common with, then you should probably seek some help about that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having your beliefs, but when it comes to the point where you're hurting other people and you're invading other people's spaces to spread your version of love, quote unquote, then you need to definitely take a look in the mirror and reevaluate, or reassess who you are as a person.